This is my presentation by the Paul J. Sachs Galleries featuring the Dorothea Lange photos, the the migrant mother, and Piece Together, and the Ponce Californians. This exhibition features photos of people living in rural California between the years of 1936 to 1942 during the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression. It shows rural life and the struggles that came with it, featuring, hopes, dreams, and struggles. And we will take a look at this now. And here is my card. My name is Yanni Pippa. There's my face. And we will move on. This exhibition had many photos featuring strife, hardship, and a lot of economic uncertainty. People living through the Great Depression, it's not that they weren't willing to work, they had nowhere to work. Places that sold food had food shortages, which meant that they couldn't provide food, they couldn't provide work. Lots of places didn't have anywhere for people to work. And so many migrants that would come over here seeking the American dream sadly had no dream to find. They had nowhere to go. And the California Land Act meant that many people, while trying to gain land, went out into the wilderness. They went in search of land, in search of economic opportunity, and found nothing. And so many people starved and suffered. This piece is Piece Together by Sarah Meister. It's based off of The Migrant Mother by Dorothea Lange. I think that the fact that the monochromatic color mixed with the value and the lack of detail in things like the faces of the children specifically, and the mother, show the uncertainty of the times. They were struggling and didn't know if they were going to survive. The lack of a face means that we can see ourselves in the portrait and in the character, the subjects of the photo. Yeah. It makes it easier for one to relate oneself. We've all been in times of uncertainty and not being able to know how tomorrow is going to be. This photo of Nipomo Californians, these are people that went out into the rural California countryside in 1936. They had nowhere to go. Many of them drug their carts out in the middle of nowhere to claim land, because back in 1936, California, there was so much empty space. Nobody was living out there. So to try and get people to go and claim the land, they set the law was that if you went into the wilderness and claimed a piece of property, you could gain as much as like 100 acres. If you were there with no government regulation for, I believe it was 2 years, and then the land was yours. And so many people went out there, specifically in the parts near Nevada, Arizona. Many people, not being actual farmers, just people seeking economic opportunity, lots of people went out into the wilderness not knowing that the ground was arid and dry. It was not fertile soil, which meant that the people, they died. Sadly. Many agricultural workers, they didn't realize the arid, dry land was not what they thought it was going to be. And so lots of them struggled and lots of them died, sadly. And this is the actual photos by Dorothea Lange. The medium is photography. This is the migrant mother. Her name is Florence Thompson. This is one of her daughters, and these are her. This is the same woman and her 3 daughters, as much as over 40 years later. It's really great to see that they all survived and that they got through those hard and trying times. And that's why I believe that this exhibition, more than anything, is about hope. These people made it through such hard and trying times, and they survived. You can see they're happy, they're healthy, they're doing great. And so, as bad as times like this can be, there's always a brighter day. There's always a new tomorrow. And so I think that, yes, while this exhibition does have strife, it does have hardship, it does have a lot of bad things going on in it, it goes to show you that hard times pass. The only constant is change. And so I believe that's a really great and beautiful message about this exhibition. Where I feel that the exhibition could have made improvements, many photos nowadays can be colorized, and I feel like it would have given more humanity to the photos to actually see that it can be a little bit disconnecting, because nowadays in the age of technology, so many people we see, you know, you can go on the internet and see your family on FaceTime. You can go and look at all wonder of amazing images today with vibrant, 4K colors, tons of detail, versus this, while there is lots of detail in the photo, the value abstracts the background due to the inability of the photo to actually capture color, versus this, there's value, there's hue, there's shade, there's color due to colorization techniques. This photo specifically was colorized in 2020. This is The Migrant Mother by Dorothea Lange. The medium is photography. But I feel like you can feel for these people more so when you can actually see, the color in their face, the blood in their cheeks. It brings humanity to it. It's not just a black and white photo. They've had black and white photos as far back as 100 years ago, whereas this photo is only 90 years ago, we've had photos as far back as the 1800s. So to see this kind of photo with color, with this kind of detail, it gives more humanity to the subjects, specifically to Miss Florence. You can see her daughters and their struggle and the uncertainty in her face. Will I be able to provide for my children? Are we going to die? It's a very human struggle. And so these are all struggles that, while we as Americans, or most Americans, cannot empathize with, I haven't personally struggled with starvation. It's never been a problem for me. And so I can only sympathize. But many people in the world today, that is still a very clear and evident reality, that starvation still occurs today. Many children do die from starvation and lack of nutrition. And so while that happens today, and it's happened in the past, seeing photos like this, it shows you their humanity. And that is the exhibition of Dorothea Lange's photos. And thank you for watching.